and all the people of the low classes fell in love with the new Christian theory, and various wars eventually broke out in Europe due to conflicts between different points of view of Christianity. In the case of Germany, the Peace of Augsburg or Augsburg Settlement was signed in 1555 after the civil war between Charles V and the Protestant feudal lords of the Augsburg Parliament. In the case of France, the Edict of Nantes made a compromise, recognizing the religious freedom of the Huguenots for a Calvinist Protestant denomination, in addition to Catholicism ending the Huguenot War and reconciliation. The context was that people's faith belonged to the Lord's faith. The local people all had to follow the belief the local lord believed. If the feudal lord believed in Huguenot, the local people must believe in Huguenot. And if the lord believed in Catholicism, all the people there should believe in Catholicism. From August to October 1572, there was a massacre on the feast of Saint Bartholomew in France. That was one of the most terrible slaughters in Christian history. In France, Huguenots and Catholics fought each other very much, so they decided to arrange a marriage of convenience between both sides, between Henry IV of the small Navarre kingdom in France and Prince Marguerite of the French kingdom, which was the Catholic side. To secure the peace, they chose a wedding day. So on the condition that the security of the Huguenots should be stable, many guests in Paris gathered at the site of the ceremony. However, the Catholic side began to brutally massacre the Huguenots, killing as many as 3,000 people in just 1 week. But the Pope, despite such a horrible tragic incident, was complimenting the Catholics that it was good work. The Pope ordered Catholics to produce a commemorative coin to celebrate the incident, and in addition to that, absurdly made that day a commemorative feast every year. It was an absurd thing that we couldn't even imagine nowadays. The Reformation was really desperately needed for mankind, and now we think it was a paradox of history that the Reformation brought a lot of benefits to Catholics too, including the removal of corruption and the correction of salvation. This religious conflict and strife spread into an international war one day, and that was the famous 30 Years' War. The 30 Years' War could be called World War Zero because it occurred before World Wars I and II in Europe. The reason we called it World War is because all the countries in Europe had no choice but to participate in the war. The beginning of the war started in Bohemia, which was heavily weighted towards Protestantism due to the influence of Jan Hus. But abruptly, the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire visited and ordered that no one could believe in Protestantism in Bohemia. However, the furious lords who believed in Protestantism threw the envoy of the Holy Roman Emperor out of the building to deliver the king's edict or message. That was clearly an insult to the emperor. Because of that, the emperor sent an army, and the people of Bohemia started rising in revolt. The war that started in that way spread to the whole of Europe, and almost all European countries participated. As for the side of the Catholics, the Holy Roman Empire, Spain, and the Roman Curia were united in one alliance. And as a Protestant faction, Germany, Sweden, Switzerland, Denmark, and the Netherlands all participated in the 30 Years' War. Originally, it started partially with the civil war in Bohemia, but it resulted in the whole of Germany and the whole of Europe participating in this war. France was the most dominant Catholic country since the Frankish kingdom, and at this time, they had no choice but to support the Protestant denominations. Even though France was a Catholic-oriented country, because of the geographical reason of being between Germany and Spain, they were forced to support the Protestant denominations. Since the countries on both sides of France were all Protestant, they were worried that if France, in the middle, chose Catholicism, it would one day be invaded. At that time, the French emperor was Louis XIII, who chose the national interest instead of religion, and this French choice influenced the decisions of the other countries. If Germany became a strong country, Denmark, Sweden, the Netherlands, and Switzerland were all affected and afraid, so Denmark and Sweden joined forces to block the Holy Roman Empire from winning the war. So eventually they fought a tedious and brutal battle for 30 years from 1618 to 1648. So they agreed that they must stop sacrificing human blood on the pretext of saving souls through religion. They decided to end this 30-year war of attrition. The Treaty of Westphalia was proposed by each side.